Thanks for watching. Axial came out with the SCX6. I like it a lot. So I I repainted that one, put some 3D printed accessories on it. Then I built this one. So this is a stretched Gladiator version that I cooked up just because I wanted to have it. And I'm thinking that there's something missing, isn't there? I really want to have a two-door version. So we're going to build one. Is it going to work? I don't know. Is it going to be fun? Yes. This is the body that I took off. Over here is the victim. So there's the box. This thing is going to get shortened, hopefully. I think that I have a pretty good plan of attack. What I want to do is I want to shorten this to approximately 70 millimeters shorter. So to do that, I want to use as many stock components as I can. So as many axial ingredients as I possibly can. There's a couple of things that I do need to consider over here. First is that I need to shorten the links. I need to relocate the center skid plate. So this thing needs to come forward. I could leave this here, but then I will end up with rear links that are like stupidly short, and I don't want to do that. There's a couple of restrictions. One of them is the motor. I know that there are shorter motors available, so until I figure that out, I will just leave this as a problem to solve later. So this thing is going to come out most likely, because this will be moved forward at least an inch. And the other thing is, of course, the body. So that as well, I will leave that for later. What I will do, since it is going to be shorter, I don't want it to be top heavy. So I will be doing the shock mod, where you put your bottom end of the shock, where you put that in line with the link mount. So that will drop it a tiny bit, make it a bit more drivable, I think, once it is completed. Now, the first thing we need to figure out is how to make new links that are in length kind of close together, or as close as these two types of links are. So you only have one top link in the front because it is a panhard setup, and then you have two bottom links. These are not the same length, these three links. So you want to have the same difference going on between the bottom links and the top link, but you do want them to be shorter. And there's kind of only one way to do this if you want to use stock links, and that is by using the top link, or what currently is the top link, and use that as a bottom link. This top link is threaded out a tiny bit, so there's a bit of a gap over here just to have the geometry be on point. What I'm going to do with the new bottom links is I'm not going to have that gap, so I'm going to thread it in all the way, and then I'm going to use these two, what are originally top links, I'm going to use these two as bottom links. If you measure this is 20 millimeters shorter than the current setup. So that's already good, because that chops away a tiny bit of length. So with that, I got two bottom links already done. Again, I will list all of the ingredients in the video description box, so you can just see what your shopping list will look like if you want to also tackle a build like this. Next up is going to be the front top link. What I found is that if I would use a panhard link, let me just find it here real quick. This one, if I use a panhard link and then I put some straight rod ends on it, like I did over here, and I do need to thread them out just a tiny bit, just to have the same amount of length difference between the bottom and the top link as in the original setup. So then you end up with something that looks like this. One panhard link, two front top links. Two front top links are going to be used for the bottom. One panhard link is going to be used for the top. And in that setup, this is 20 millimeters shorter than it currently is, meaning that you can already move this forward 20 millimeters. I want to move it forward even more, just because I want to have a tiny bit of a better approach angle. So I want to have that front wheel sitting a tiny bit more towards the front. Also makes the truck look a bit more aggressive. Doesn't cause any clearance issues if I do. So I want to push this forward 6 millimeters. So total is 20, and 6 is 26 millimeters that this whole gearbox, this whole transcase, is going to be pushed forward. That does cause an issue over here in front with the motor. But like I said, we're going to worry about that later. Next up is the back. Or next up, I haven't done anything yet, but next up in explaining is going to be the back, because that as well is going to be a bit of a project. What I did for the back is ordered 2 sets of steering links. So in the steering link set that you can order from Axial, you have the drag link. We're going to not use that one. And then you have the link that links up to your steering servo. We are going to use that one. Once you build those, you have 2 new top links. So these are originally steering links, on which I put a different rod end. So this one is actually bent, just like the original top links have that bend in them. Do keep an eye on where the notch sits, just so in adjustability it is the exact same as it is stock. So these are going to be my new top links. Now check out how short these are. So that is a big difference. The difference between these links and the stock links is 44 millimeters. So 44 plus 26 gives me that 70 millimeter wheelbase difference that I was looking for. So that's good, but well, we're not really there yet. We still need to have a bottom link too. And these are again a panhard link that you see over here in the front. Now by using these rod ends, so these are originally for the steering, for the drag link. These are going to sit on the back like there. And then if you see them from the side, yeah, they give you a tiny bit more clearance. So that's like an extra benefit. So 2 panhard links for the bottom, 2 steering links, steering servo links for the top. Gives me 44 millimeters shorter axle distance to the skid plate. So this whole bit as well will need to be shortened. I think for now we just need to take everything apart, put these new links on, see if it actually works. Look how funny this looks. Holy shit. Oh, I haven't moved the front axle yet, so you'll be able to tell that just because it looks completely stupid currently. Check this out. This is quite a bit shorter in the front, and the back is just incredibly stupid looking currently. Let me just take this body off, and you can see what happened so far. So I still have to adjust the frame rails, obviously, by looking at this stupid angle of the shocks. I also still have to slide this whole thing forward, and I also, by doing that, will then move the front axle forward. But the wheelbase, this is exactly what I was hoping would happen. Wow, this thing, it does really need to be dropped. So I need to do that shock mod where I put the shock bottom in line with the link mount. But so far really good. I'm actually super happy about this. I think this is going to be an extremely usable truck. Let's continue. This does have some sort of structural bearing in it, being the servo mount in the back for the steering servo. But seeing that the servo horn sits in the front, most of the torque actually happens in the front. So I might be able to get away with chopping this somehow. So this beam that sits between the 2 frame rails. And in doing so, I might also be able to salvage that stock motor and still use it. I try to make these type of builds as easy as possible so you can also follow them. And so it doesn't really hurt your budget. This is something that you will be able to do at home. It's basically links, few rod ends. I did pivot balls just because I don't want to reuse every single one of them. And apart from that, it should be fairly easy. You should also be able to reuse the stock body if you want to. Quite a simple build so far. This took literally no time at all. Did leave those floorboards off just so I can have a look at these holes for the frame rails, but also then for that the skid plate. So this needs to move forward 26 millimeters, and after that I need to chop off these rear frame rails, moving all of this forward and also getting the correct shock angle over here in the back. Let's do that. I just hung this thing on the side just because we also need to, of course, address the length of these side panels, of these floorboards. So far, this is going way quicker than I expected. One thing that does require some pretty extensive modding are the frame rails. I chopped the rears off 70 millimeters. I chopped the fronts off, so I chopped those off in the back 20 millimeters, and then you slide everything together and it looks like this. You do need to re-drill the holes for the center skid plate, and you also need to chop out the notch for the transmission, both in the front and in the rear frame rail. Another thing that you can tell right now is the approach angle in the front. So this sits, compared to stock, this sits forward 6 millimeters more. The skid plate sits forward 26 millimeters more, and then in the rear, in those back frame rails, you need to adjust those whole 44 millimeters. So those give you all your measurements. So in the back, the holes need to go backward 44 millimeters. In the front frame rails, they need to go forward 26 millimeters. Cut the fronts off 20 millimeters, cut the rears off 70 millimeters, and you end up with something that looks like this. Onto the floorboards and see that we can make this all look stock. Those rear inner fenders, they look a bit wonky right now just because they get pushed out too much with those front frame rails being thicker than the rears, and then afterwards connected up with that floorboard, with that panel. One side done, I decided to take the whole battery tray off, since I'm not going to run any batteries on the side anyway. This thing is currently so short, and this battery tray over here sits in such a great position really that there's no point in having any batteries on the side. So I'm just going to leave those for what they are. I did need to re-drill a hole to attach these two together, so to attach that rear fender to that center section. I also needed to chop off a corner from that that floor tray, just to make sure that it actually marries up to the chassis in a good fashion. So that also was pretty easy. And I chopped a corner. Let's see if that gets picked up by the camera. I chopped a corner out of that rear fender. So this one is modified. If you look at the one over here, this one still needs to be done. So this corner over here is what's going to come out. Now, I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. Make sure that this lines up like this. I also needed to drill a hole over here. So this is where you slide your rock slider in. I got that thing over here. This should give you a really good idea exactly how much shorter this currently is. I'm so incredibly excited about this. This is all working really well so far. Afterwards, just need to drop it down a bit, and I think it's completely on point. All right, let's continue over here and make sure that this is all not so floppy and flappy anymore. I just chopped this out. So I use this saw over here just to get some more room over here for the motor. Now, this does not do any harm really to the structural integrity of this whole front end. So you do have one part of the servo mount that you also need to chop out. But if you feel it, it's still plenty sturdy, so there's really nothing wrong with doing it like this. Like this, you can also just use the stock motor again. The only thing that I did need to remove is the stock ESC. What I will be doing is these two tabs that you see on the sides that you use to mount it. I'm going to cut those off, and after doing that, this should actually fit right into the stock position again. And I'm thinking once I have that motor cover on top of it, it should all look pretty freaking awesome. So that's next. After that, I'm going to worry about this Bluetooth drive shaft, because after all, it's not SEMA. All done. I think it looks factory. Let me know in the comments if you agree. You really don't need a lot of tools. So you need some masking tape. You need some cutters. So these are some side cutters. A pipe cutter. I use this for cutting the drive shafts. A drill, of course, always really handy. Some other pliers, some drivers, angle grinder. I use that for the what do you call it? Chassis rails, multi-cutter. That's it. Yeah, and some hearing protection if you care about your ears. Apart from that, super simple. So you just hack all this stuff off, and once you do that, you end up with a shorty like this. Body chop is in full swing here, so I took out, well, 70 millimeters again. I needed to figure out where to do this, so I chose to go with a line right above that rear fender, because the rear fender is really easy to bolt stuff back together. In hindsight, there's still plenty of problems that I need to solve, like for example these hinges. In this area of the roof, you could tell that there's most similarities if you were to take away 70 millimeters. You could tell that at the end of this ridge, it kind of dips down. I would not be able to replicate that. I chose to, for the first test at least, just do it over here, see what happens. This whole thing will be gone, so then that will give me like one big rear window, like you would find it on a two-door Jeep. So far, pretty good. Last thing I need to do right now is replicate this whole arch section on this rear door. Hopefully that will also work. So I sanded this all down. It gives me a nice fit. All you need to do is just cut this with a blade. Put some tape on it. It's a bit more forgiving, and it's also way easier to trace. Apart from that, there's really no manual for stuff like this. You just need to kind of try it, basically. All right, I will be chopping this out, and then hopefully we can test it on the short chassis. One shorty all done. I have test driven this thing. I'm not too easily impressed with myself, but in this case I can honestly tell you that I am, because this thing turned out absolutely fantastic the way it handles. Still plenty of stuff to worry about, like for example this seam over here. Keep in mind, this is the stock green body. This is just to show you how easy it is to chop it. And this is also to show the proportions. So also for myself, kind of as like a reference, just to check that I did everything correct and that it actually looks right. I just wanted to chop up the stock body. I do have a clear body, so for the clear body, I want to do, especially this part, I want to do that differently. Are there ways to solve this or make this less obvious that it is chopped? Absolutely, you just need to get a tiny bit creative. But you can do, for example, this entire part over here. This, of course, looks super ugly. You could put another window sticker over this. You could also chop out the entire back window over here and replace it with an additional Lexan plate. That would obscure it a tiny bit. This seam over here, easiest way to solve that is just adding a roof rack of any sort. So you can add, for example, a night customs rack. You can make something yourself like I did over here on the Gladiator, but there's also plenty of aftermarket options. And then one of those bars could obscure that cut. So that's also a route that you could take. Another thing that of course needs to be addressed are these hinges. And then there's the remains of a door handle over here. All of this stuff is bolted together behind the rear fender. So I used all of the original mounting holes that I found in the back of the body, copied a few more in the cut, so in what is the new front line of that rear fender. And by doing so, I was able to join those two parts together again. Really easy. And behind this is currently just masking tape. There's, of course, way better solutions to join those two halves together. But for the time being, this just works. Now this, I want to solve this by machining some sort of a sheet of plastic. So currently I have my CNC machine over here under the staircase, so that's going to be easy to machine that, test fit it, and see what it does. I also had to cut these rock sliders, of course, these running boards. So these are 70 millimeters shorter, and I think, if I'm honest, proportion-wise, this is of course really obvious that it's a cut, but proportion-wise, I really like it. Let me know in the comments if you agree. Next video, we'll go a tiny bit more in depth, and I'll also get started on that clear body. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Back on.